What's up, fellow collectors? Welcome back to the M.I.B. Master Toy Museum. I'll be a curator today. Guys, more fun, more excitement here from the museum on a very cold, wintry day outside the museum, but we're nice and toasty here in the museum, and we got a fresh pot of coffee on for you guys as well. And we want to get into our episode 4 of our top 100 of my favorite 100 figures or collectibles in my museum, in my collection. And I have pretty much the 10 that I want to discuss today, 10 of my favorites I want to discuss today on stage. I have one that's off stage. I have to bring it in, but that shouldn't be a problem. Guys, it's a nice Friday. I can't think of anything better I would like to do with share these awesome collectibles with you guys. We have Lady Pop Hunter to thank, really, for this series of videos. She gave me a challenge months and months ago, and the challenge was originally to pick out my 10 favorite collectibles in my museum collection. I failed miserably in that aspect to try to do that because I just have too many favorites. So I came up with I altered the plan and came up with my top 100 favorite figures and collectibles. We've narrowed it down. We've gotten 3 episodes out the way, which is basically 30 figures. And we have another 10 here, so we're getting there. But I'll start off today with, let's start off with another one of my favorite G.I. Joes. Very difficult to find, too. I have the good people at Coswell Collectibles to thank for having this so I could purchase it. They had it on their website. It's the 10th Mountain 32nd Division Light Infantry G.I. Joe. And the selling point on this guy is everything. I mean, he comes loaded with gear, accessories. Look, he's got his mess kit there. More weapons, pistols, you name it. Water bottle. Beautiful assault rifle. I'm just going to call it an assault rifle. All of my weapons experts out there, they get on me sometimes when I don't get the weapon, the caliber of the weapon right, the name of the weapon right. So I leave it to you guys. But this is a beautiful figure. Like I said, he was very difficult to find. Very, very, very difficult to find, to catch up with. But I finally found him. I found him about maybe 3 or 4 years ago now. It's been about 3 or 4 years, maybe 5 years since I found him. Gas mask, helmet, you name it. Ballistic helmet. Beautiful. One of my favorites. So I'm going to sit him out the way because I want to. I'd be very careful with this guy. Let's move him out the way. All right. The thing about these top 10s is, making space on the staging area to showcase these guys and not knocking anything over. So it's a delicate balance. But we're moving right along. That was number 1. They're in no particular order. My Marvel Signature Series Spider-Man Origins by Hasbro. This came back, I think these came out in the early 2000s. I'll turn one around. But Spider-Man is one of my absolute all-time favorite, comic book heroes. From the movies to the comic books to the toys. And this particular figure caught my eye a long time ago before I even had this as a collectible. My son actually had it when he was really a small baby. I mean, he might have been 3 or 4, maybe 5 years old, maybe a toddler. And his grandmother found one at a garage sale. And I thought the figure was so well made. It was just beautifully done. Naturally, it was loose. But I said, this is a really cool figure. And I saw this again, so I did some research. And found it on eBay. And I didn't realize, since this one right here, Spider-Man. But there's another one here. And this is from the Amazing Fantasy. And it has the comic book in the back of it. And if you can look closely, you can see the webbing underneath his arms. And I thought that was pretty cool. The outfits are different. This is more of the original outfit, and this is more of the updated outfit. So Spider-Man is really in my top 100. He's really taken over this particular video because I have 3 of them, and we'll get to the 3rd one in a minute. But the head sculpt, everything about this guy is just fantastic. I love these figures. They are, like I said, they are designed. He's got the web slinging hands there. They are designed beautifully, detailed. They're very articulate. You can look at the hands here on this one right here. Like I said, the head sculpt, everything. Spider on the chest. You can see the difference of the spider on the chest. Like I said, this is the more modern version as opposed to the more vintage version. Because it's from the Amazing Fantasy. It's from his first appearance, issue number 15. The iconic, comic book. Get a year for you. They all came out around the same year. Early 2000, yeah, 2006. 2006. Moving right along, guys. Like I said, the Spider-Man theme continues. Let's get him over here. This is my Iron Spider-Man. These are figures that, like I said, everything on this stage, these 10 figures, some of my absolute favorites. I can't do without these figures. I absolutely, positively, if I had to only keep 100, these would probably be definitely the 100. Would that be difficult? Yes, because I love all my collectibles here in the museum. But these are the ones that I think about quite often, that I'll come down to the museum and I'll pull out and look at the boxes and just check the figures out. And this Iron Spider-Man is just beautifully done. The design of this figure, everything. He's got the 3 extra arms here in the back. His suit was designed by Tony Stark. And you saw it in the movie, the recent Spider-Man movies that came out within the last 2 or 3 years. I didn't know this figure existed until somebody sent me some pictures of it. And then I started to do some research. And voila. He's in my museum collection now. Like I've had this, I believe, maybe, yeah, last maybe 4 or 5 years. But so well done. Like I said, the Marvel Signature Series figures are just, just beautifully done. And I have a ton of them. You'll probably be seeing a few more in my top 100 down the road. We're gonna keep it moving. This right here is one of my absolute favorites. M.I.B Toys. The Black Bat. One of those obscure heroes. I want to say more like from the 1940s, 1930s, 1940s. Jay Piscopo is the owner of M.I.B Toys, the creator of M.I.B Toys. And he put together a lot of these public domain characters. I'm trying to move him around. He's scratching the thing here. But he put a lot of these together. And these came out in the early 2000s. And this particular figure was one of the first ones I purchased. I believe I purchased this off of Amazon. Some of these were up for retail. I actually did some business with Jay from his personal collection and added a ton from Jay's very own personal collection. Some prototype ones, some figures that didn't even make it to retail. This one made it to retail though. You see down here at the base, he's got the 2 guns, 2 pistols here. And, you can see he got that Mego vibe to it because these are Mego parts that were used to create this line of toys. So Jay teamed up with Dr. Mego, who supplied him with, the parts and the tooling for these figures. But just beautifully done. Beautifully done. It's one of my absolute favorites in my entire collection here at the museum. My entire museum collection. I really love this figure. I love the way it's put together. I love that Mego vibe it has to it. Simplistic in some ways and modern and detailed in others. But just really awesome. I love that mask. The Black Bat. So got that. And keeping it moving, guys. Now, here's a fun collectible I have in my museum collection. And one of my absolute favorites, Timmy Toys, remade these United States soldiers, plastic army men, 100 pieces, realistic reissues from back when I was a kid, back in the 1970s. I had these army men, and I think everybody had a bag of army men. Let's flip it around here. I got this from Collectibles. This is one of my few items here on the stage that didn't cost an arm and a leg, didn't cost much. I believe I paid maybe $14 or $15 for this bag of Army Men, 100 Army Men. But these were the exact figures that I had when I was a kid. See the bazooka there, guy, the flamethrower guy, the walkie-talkie guy. Just, here's the guy laying down, the sharpshooter. Just fantastic. Absolutely, positively fantastic. And you don't really have a collection if you don't have a bag of Army Men. And this is absolutely, you know, obviously this is sealed. I've never opened this bag. As you can see, everything's sealed. Everything is mint condition here at the museum. Guys, your thoughts, your opinions, we want to hear it all. Right underneath the video in the comment section, guys. So what are we up to now? We're up to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is 7. We'll move this guy to the side. I love these Army Men. I can't say enough about these. I mean, this is right here. This is a part of my childhood. It's, with everything in my museum, I get it for a lot of reasons, but childhood memories and nostalgic vibes play, a major role. And seeing this bag of Army Men's just brings back so many fun childhood memories for me. We're gonna go to, I believe this is number 8. My FTC Aquaman versus the Great White Shark. Bring this in a little closer. This is probably one of my favorite Figures Toy Company play sets or figure sets of all time. And it has everything to do with the fact that M.I.B created Aquaman versus the Great White Shark set back in the late 1970s. And that's what I remember the set from. And Figures Toy Company recreated that set. And that's why I love Figures Toy Company. They have their place in toy history, and they absolutely positively have their toy place here at the M.I.B Master Toy Museum. And it's because of things like this. The beautiful shark. This was obviously the selling piece for me of this entire set. This box is massive. I'll bend him down here, bring him down a little bit for you. Let's just bring it down so you can just see it. And you can see here look at Aquaman's hands. He's got the webbed hands. Now I believe the old shark vintage one set had a propeller. This one doesn't do that, where it could propel itself through the water. Look at the jaws there. There's Aquaman. This set, when it came out, I was so excited. It's expensive, very expensive. And but in saying that, I still think you can get this from FTC. I think this is one set that has not been retired or sold out or anything like that. I believe this is a set that you can still purchase, especially if you're looking for it, especially if you're just a fan of M.I.B and a lot of those obscure play sets that they had in the 1970s. I don't know, from public knowledge, it didn't do very well. It didn't sell very well, but now naturally It's a very difficult set to find now, and it's extremely difficult to find mint in box like this. It's almost impossible without the box being damaged or, you know, severely destroyed or anything of that nature. So if you have this set, the vintage set, in your collection, that's fantastic. But if you don't and you want it, like I did, and you don't want to pay $10,000 for the vintage one, the original set, you know, pay $80 or $90 for the FTC version, and you got it. And that's what I did. And I was so excited about this because, it's, like I said, it's just absolutely beautiful, and it is one of my all-time favorites. As I'm still moving stuff around, I just want to get a closer look at this set here. Bring it down. The collectors want the close-up, so I try to accommodate. Just a fun set to look at. Here's a side shot here. One of my all-time favorites. Watch the huge jaws open whenever the great white shark hits another object. Super cool. All right, and we're gonna, wait, let me see. Let me see, there was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so that was 7. So that was 7. Let's go to 8. And this is an absolute beauty right here. I'm gonna bring him down because it's a massive, massive box. Oh my goodness, this is a huge box. Get you a blown out look. This is my Star Wars collector series, Luke Skywalker versus the Wampa. It is one of the most absolutely beautiful sets that Hasbro put out back in the late 1990s. This is the scene from Planet Hoth where Luke does battle. You know, he fights for his life, and he's captured by the ferocious, deadly Wampa, who didn't, as far as I'm concerned, didn't get a ton of TV time, which made him even more, beloved and mysterious. But Hasbro did a fantastic job. The selling point of this entire set, no offense to Luke, I think this is a beautiful figure. It was this Wampa. Didn't quite see, really see anything quite like this. And when I saw this on eBay, the seller did a fantastic job with the pictures. He took a ton of pictures. This guy was, somewhat expensive, not horribly. I think I might have paid $70 or $80 for this set. And that was, I believe I purchased this back in 2018. You can check the video out of this. It's a really fun video. It's got some nice background music with it, or footage, audio from the movie. But this was just, for me, I got this figure. The box, it looks like, it's a little dusty now, but the box itself, everything is just, the box looks like it just came off a toy store shelf. And that's how beautiful It's a M.I.B. dream, absolute dream. And like I said, this Wampa is just gorgeous. It's just a beautiful figure. He's, you know, his fur is still nice and shiny and fluffy and white. He's got the yellow streaks here in the chest area. They said there were two versions of this set where the Wampa, he had this yellowish, you know, tint to his fur, and then I think the other one didn't. So there are like two versions. This is the version I have. I love this version. Tracking this guy down again just to get that variant or that version would drive me crazy, because this particular set has spoiled me so much because of the beautiful condition of the box. Everything is perfect in this box. Everything about this box and about this set is perfect. So I mean, I would have to find a C10 version of the other one, and that's a headache, especially for an M.I.B. collector like myself. So this is a set that I absolutely positively could not do without in my collection. I would be absolutely positively devastated if something happened to this set, if this set became damaged or something like that. That's how much it means to me, and another reason why it's in my top 100 collectibles. So let's sit this guy back up here. He is heavy. Now we're coming around. Let me see here. I got more, guys. I got more. More G.I. Joes. I have two, as you can see. I have my Civil War series, Classic Collection G.I. Joe series. And this is the Army of the Potomac, 1861. And then I have the Army of Virginia, 1861. These were G.I. Joe Club exclusives. There was a G.I. Joe Collectors Club back in the late 1990s that I was a part of. And they teamed up with Hasbro, and they would come out with some of the coolest G.I. Joe Club exclusive figure sets and figures that you could ever dream of. These were not retail in stores. You could not purchase these in stores. You can only purchase these through the club. You would have to be a club member and all that good jazz. But I purchased this in 1997. I believe it came out in 97. I'm curious now. Let me get a year for you. This is back when Kenner was still producing it. Yeah, 1997. Let's give you a look at both figures on the back. Both boxes are practically identical, you know, outside of their name. But I've had this and these two guys in my collection since 1997 when I bought them. They were both $82 a piece. So they both cost $82 per figure. And when I open this, you'll see why. And this is the Army of the Potomac. Look at this. All of the beautiful historical information that you want. And then you have the figure. And the figure is display friendly like no other. Everything is set beautifully. His top coat, he comes layered up. He's got the American flag back there. They came with unique head sculpts just for these particular figures. So these head sculpts were retooled just for these figures. He has everything. There's his rifle. He's got a thermos. He's got he's my type of guy. He's got his coffee cup here. It came with a stand as well. He's got all these different pouches and bags. There's the belt. This belt with the US label on it. And like I said, this was, you know, if you were a huge G.I. Joe fan, especially in the 1990s when G.I. Joe was making its return, this was a set that you absolutely positively had to have. Now the secondary market, these figures are very expensive. You know, they're over 20 something plus years old now. But you still can find these guys. I've seen them pop up on Coswell Collectibles from time to time. I believe they're a little over probably over $100 at this point. The last time I saw, Coswell has great prices. They won't kill you with the prices, but eBay, these figures are expensive. I've seen a few, and if you can find these guys for cheaper than that, maybe you don't want them in the box. You know, that's me. If you probably can find them loose, then I'm sure you can find them like that. But that's our Army of the Potomac, and now it's getting a little tough because I'm trying to maneuver stuff around here to get it. So bear with me. Put him back. Bear with me. Okay, so we can get you this other one here. Bring him out. These boxes and they're heavy. They're very heavy. This is the Army of Virginia. Like I said, just beautiful. A little dusty. I gotta dust these guys off. Like I said, same fifth panel, same information. But the figure is fantastic. And you see the rebel flag back there. And you know, you can look at the South Army, the Confederate Army, and it's really cool because you notice with the Northern Army, the Army of the Potomac, the Union Army, I should say, their outfits were a little bit better made, and it's a true sense of history because Hasbro made those uniforms look a little bit better, and you could see where these uniforms are beautiful. They're beautifully made, but they're beautifully made in a sense of historical detail, where they didn't have the good things that the Union soldiers had. You know, these guys, you can see their outfits are a little bit more kind of thrown together, if you will. He's got his overcoat. He's got his knapsack bedroll there. There's his rifle. More pouches. There's a nice little sack that's thrown over. He's got a ton of things here. Another sack here over there. He's got his coffee cup. And there's another bedroll down here. Just a ton of fantastic accessories and details, to these figures. Beautiful head sculpt that was made, sculpted tool just for this particular figure, for this particular set. This is a red head, I believe, if it's showing up on the camera. But, it was well worth the $82 per figure because they were so beautifully made. And it's a part of history as well. And I have a lot of historical figures here, G.I. Joe figures. And I have a lot of Civil War G.I. Joes as well. You can check our video list out, playlist of all of our Civil War. I believe we have a playlist just dedicated to the Civil War. So, but these figures are figures that I can't live without. They're some of my favorites. As we look at his canteen here. I can't live without these guys. I wouldn't trade them. I wouldn't give them away. They're just my favorites. Guys, that's episode 4. We have more fun. Top 100 videos headed your way. I'm going to go get some coffee, get situated, and get something to eat. You know the routine, guys. God bless. Stay safe. And by all means, keep collecting.